and L. Brooks Patterson and those guys. And then after he left, we got Kwame. Kwame's supposed to usher in a new excitement, new energy when it comes down to youth and greater understanding of politics. And guess what? You know what happened to Kwame. I ain't going to go delve off into that.
Right.
We got Ken Cocker for a moment, and he was over his head. And then I'm not going to say he was over his head. He wasn't meant to be the mayor. Then you got what you got. We got a Hall of Fame basketball player, and everyone went to hell in the basket.
Yes, it did.
Okay, between Dennis and Dave being two of the most detrimental things happening to black folks. Under Dennis' watch, we lost the Detroit Public Schools. Under Dave's watch, the city went bankrupt, and emergency managers came in. So 2 outsiders came in and made it palpable for the evolution of Mike Duggan to come in and be our mayor.
It was a perfect recipe for Mike Duggan to come right in. Yeah. Again, I know we talk about this. First of all, let me say the conversations we have at these tables, they start out in the community.
Yeah.
Like you'll call me and say, man, I was over at such and such having a conversation with these brothers. So this is what we bring to the table. But back to just to piggyback on what you were talking about with Dennis. I mean, you called it out perfectly, right? While Dennis, I remember Dennis Archer, Mayor Archer he even talked about getting on his knees, extending olive branches.
Yes.
But all that time, L. Brooks Patterson is kicking him in his face. And they continue to elect L. Brooks Patterson because, when I say they, people in Oakland County, because they felt as though he had their best interests at heart. That's how we felt about Coleman. I don't know. I thought I had my finger on the pulse of the registered voters in the city of Detroit, but I don't get it.
But you think about this, Skip. Dennis Archer and Dave Bing, we lost close to $4 billion
Whoa.
in transferring the wealth. The school system at the time was 1.2. It was $100 million in the black. Test scores was up, and the neighborhoods were stable.
And the citizens of the city of Detroit had just went to the polls
Yes.
and voted. We taxed ourselves to the
Right.
tune of $1.2 billion for improvement. Remember who came in and depleted that bond money?
Mike Duggan.
That's right.
Okay, but think about this. The test scores were up. The neighborhood was stable, and we was $100 million in the black under Dave Snead's watch. Okay, let's look at that's the school system, but look at the home ownership. Look at all the other things that prosper from that school system.
Yeah.
Okay, and when they came in, remember they created this emergency to fix the school.
Yeah.
Under Mike Duggan, he ran the whole program.
I remember.
Okay, about $90 million was to fix the schools, painting and all that other stuff. So money was being distributed under those folks' watch.
Yeah.
When they took over the schools, and then what else happened? John Rakolta and his bunch was behind it to take over because they couldn't control the bond money.
Still same cast of characters. That was 30 years ago.
Yes, but think about it. Then the bankruptcy, look what they did. They stole people's pensions. They destroyed the incomes. They sold off goods and services. They took the water department from us. They transferred. And when you think about it, it was outright theft.
It was.
It was outright theft what they did to black people. And guess what? Think about this. Skip down there. I don't want to hog the show.
No. Hey, listen. I'm enjoying this.
Now,
Go ahead.
think about this, Skip.
You got institutional knowledge, man.
Think about this, man. Go into the neighborhood where a school is at and see what the neighborhood look like.
Yeah.
It destroyed the school. It destroyed the neighborhood. The schools, you cannot function in a city without a top-notch school system.
No, I agree with you.
And then their arms, the robber baron arms standing to Easton and Holland Park. Guess what? The two things they got in common.
What is that? Black.
No bank and no school
yeah,
system.
right. And both of them are predominantly black cities.
The black city.
Yeah.
So they still are taking wealth from us, and we continue to keep feeding the robber barons. Now they're in Detroit. They coming back. They buying up everything, Skip. They creating 375 new economic engine for them. They didn't want to cause the pain. Now they want to benefit from the pain.
And they gonna benefit from
The
it.
pain. And then we ain't got only one operating black newspaper in our community. We got our own media center here. We're trying to enlighten people on what happened to us. But guess what? And add insult to the wound. Every store, I asked a question on my radio show at 11 o'clock. Can y'all call in and tell me where's one black-owned liquor store in the city of Detroit, one black-owned grocery market in the city of Detroit, and how many owned black restaurants we have in the neighborhood?
Did anybody call in and
One
give?
person, they say Asbury Park and 7 Mile.
What is that? A gas station? Store. A liquor store. Wow.
Skip asked the question.
140 square miles of city.
Yes.
90% black.
Yes.
Wow.
We don't own no liquor stores. Folks, if you know the liquor store in your community, next week, call in and tell us where it's at, and we're going to start promoting black businesses.
That's right.
Okay?
Any black businesses
Any
that
black
you know where it's at. And
Any
yeah,
black business.
because how many black owned, I know there's one by your house, black owned gas station.
Mr. Davis, the only one.
Are you serious?
Mr. Davis used to be the one on 7 Mile, on 8 Mile in Livernois.
Livernois, yeah.
Man, back in the day, Skip, we owned Willie Horton's, High Chaparral, Watts Club, Mozambique. What do we have now?
Henry's.
Yeah. What do we have now? To me, we're being occupied.
We are. And what do you, hey, preach, Keith, go ahead.
Occupied.
And what do you call a city that's being occupied by outside forces? It's a colony, man. We being colonized.
Yes. Skip. I was over by LaSalle and West Grand Boulevard. I drove LaSalle Boulevard, and I said, these folks walking with their dogs, baby carriages, and all this stuff. It looks like Grosse Pointe over there.
It does. Oh, yeah. It does. And don't think about going over there trying to buy a house unless your money is right.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man.
They kind of dirt cheap. While we run into West Bloomfield.
Yeah.
That's the black man's dream now. West Bloomfield, they coming back. They coming back, taking up all this. These brick homes were built right. Okay?
Yeah.
All they do is come put $100,000 in the home, get the electricity right and the plumbing right.
Oh, yeah.
And put a good heating system in there.
Man, ride over in this area. I know you know the area well. Over where the Cub field is.
Yeah, by Boston.
Yeah. So between like Livernois.
Broad Street.
Yeah. Yep. Livernois and Dexter.
Yes.
Man, look at what they doing over there. It's unbelievable. They building houses over there.
Yes. Hold on. Skip, guess what happened? I talked to Dr. Beatty 3 months ago. I said, Dr. Beatty, all this land where the school at, they done cleaned it out. The emergency manager transferred all the land to the city.
Wow.
They transferred the land as a part of the deal. So
what type of deal that they cut for that? How was the emergency manager
because he was
able
in
to
control
dictate
of the school system?
Oh, he was? Oh, you talking about the emergency manager for the schools? Oh, okay.
He turned over the land.
Gave it all to the city
because supposedly the school system had owed a lot of money to the city.
Well, that answers a lot of questions. There's a lot of people who complain about the schools not taking care of the land, but it don't fall on the schools anymore. That's the city, huh?
That's the city.
Wow.
And the school got little parcels of land, but look at all that land. You go over there by Russell Woods on Richton, and in that area, there was Bernie Middle School, man. That's a beautiful piece of land. I tried to get it. It was gone, man. The mayor and them got it.
Wow.
So,
it is. It's a nice piece of land. That's right down the street from Cub Field.
Yeah, Cub Field. You go over there. See, let me tell you, we got to delve into this too, Skip. The mortgage crisis, they came in and wiped out wealth through that.
Now, let me tell you something about that mortgage crisis. And I'm not discounting what drugs did in the community because it was a shame. But the mortgage company, the banks, When I was coming up, there was drugs in the community. You'd be hard pressed to find one vacant house on a block when you were growing up.
Yes.
Once the bankers started sending people literally going door to door, knocking on the doors of these elderly people
Yeah.
or these kids
Yeah.
who inherited these properties,
Yes.
gave them a check and left the property.
Yes.
Because they were able to write it off and the federal government paid for it. The
Yes.
federal government helped pay for the demise of the black community. Again, yeah.
Think about who got all the wealth downtown. Dan Gilbert.
Oh, yeah.
He was in the mortgage. He was in the mortgage business too.
He was doing a lot of subprime
They
lending.
was subprime
yeah.
lending and stuff, man.
Yeah.
That took wealth from black folks because home ownership is where you gain your wealth.
That's
okay?
right.
And insurance policies. See, Skip, they ran a scam on us, man. We keep falling for the okie doke.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've been infiltrated some more. You got Tree and Rashida, and we had for 50 years black leadership in the Congress, in the state representation. We got nothing still, Chris. Steve.
Skip, go ahead, take your time, Keith. What do you think, speaking of Rashida, what you think about what I read in the news about these donors, these Democratic donors approaching Hill Harper, offering them $20 million to get in the race against Rashida? What's your take on that?
Hey, Ken, call in. He said he'd been calling. Let's call Ken in.
Something must
Okay.
be.
But I'm just saying, man.
What's your take on that?
Okay, let me say this to you. Rashida don't represent my value.
Right.
And that's me personally. Because I'm a businessman and she think she got a great understanding of black folks.
Yeah.
Okay. She knows nothing about black folks.
Nothing.
He can't speak English.
Nothing.
Nothing, and he represent nothing.
This man didn't even play it off.
Yes.
He ran for governor, bought a house in Detroit.
Yes.
I doubt if he ever spent
He's
a week there.
carpetbagger.
At its purest form. He's
Yes.
a carpetbagger. Listen, smiled his way all the way up to the halls of the United States Congress.
Yeah.
What is wrong with us?
Yes.
Who would go and cast a vote for this man who lived in the city of Detroit?
Hey, I can't get it, man. This guy, he only got a commercial now talking about reparations, man.
Are you? Yeah.
Hey, and guess what? Too many people in the race. But how Rashida got in there, all Comey Young Jr. had to do is get out the race, and Brendan would have won. I see. We all think we the savior of the black folks, man.
Yeah, man.
Okay. And when we talk about it, Coleman Young, they had strong black men and strong black women controlling our politics.
Yeah.
Man, you got gadflies now.
You do. There needs to be a meeting, though, of the minds to come up and see who's going to run against these two Congress people. And not, like you said, not no whole box full of people just thrown in the race. Because the only thing that does, these people have a solid base. Remember that. You're not going to flip their base. But you may be able to flip the enough numbers where you can win if you just run head up with these people. So, again, we need to have a meeting of the minds where we sit down and we figure out who's the strong enough candidate to take each one of them out.
So, Ken, we're having problem and difficulty with our call in. So what's on your mind, man? Hello?
Ken?
Yeah.
Okay.
You there? We can hear you. What's happening?
I'm just listening to you all. I mean, like last week, you all are hitting on some topics that are near and dear to my heart, such as home ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
You was talking about the foreclosure crisis. That was just one element of what hurt the city of Detroit. Obviously, from the 1967 riots to now, we have been hit. You think about the park over at Burwood, the Burwood Wall. I mean, since 1941, we've been discriminated against, redlined, whatever the case may be. Now we need to improve that, and we're coming up with a campaign. My name is
do this, Ken. You can call in now.
Detroit Realtors
Hey, call in right now, Ken.
What number though, kid?
395 336 395 3336.
That's the number I'm calling.
Okay,
Try it now.
try it
Ken.
now.
So let's pick up until he calls in on what we were talking about.
But what I'm saying, man, it was the biggest theft in the history of the black race. It was a theft.
Yeah.
They stole.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I mean, like I said before, the subjects that you all are talking about are near and dear to my heart and my profession. I'm the president of the Greater Detroit Realtors Association. That foreclosure crisis that happened between 2006 and 2014, the redlining that began, I don't know when, but at the same time, is indicative of the Burwood Wall over there between Pembroke and 8 Mile off between Burwood and Mendota. We've been redlined, all of that. What we're trying to do is create a campaign called Building Black Wealth Tour Detroit, which is coming to your town from January to the rest of 2024, where we're trying to increase black home ownership. Most individuals that are renting now are spending 30 to 50% of their income, their monthly income, on home ownership, what we call rent burden, meaning that they don't have money to spend for any other item other than rent. Okay? So what we're trying to do is increase the level of home ownership by providing the mortgages, the down payment assistance, the underwriting guidelines necessary for them to make home ownership affordable. What we're trying to do is create a massive campaign in all 7 districts of the city of Detroit so we can make them aware of the down payment assistance program, the mortgage program, the incentives that are out there for home ownership.
You know, Ken, this is the deal. It's got to be a comprehensive approach to this whole madness, this mental demise we're going through. The home ownership is one, education is another, and equity and wealth. You got to have all 3 of those things work hand in hand.
Sure.
But see, this is the thing. There's so much apathy in our community.
That's why I said the site. Let me say this to you, Ken. I got this.
We're not receptive to knowledge.
Yeah, but let me say this, Ken. Let me say this to you. We got in this mess. We didn't get in this mess by ourselves. Okay, now it's going.
Can't blame it on nobody else.
Hold on, we can't blame it on the system that created the malaise and the stuff that black folks are going through. Now we have to fight through this with a comprehensive approach. We got to get back our school systems. Go ahead.
Ken, you said we can't blame it on anyone else. Explain.
It's not. Because understand this. Google, Chat, GPT, or whatever the case may be, we have answers. The answers lie within ourselves and everything. If we were only empowered by what we know and stop listening to mom and pop and Pookie and Ray Ray and everything about home ownership and actually go out there and get educated regarding the process, then we can make home ownership possible and affordable.
See, Ken, I'm just gonna be straight up with you, my brother. I don't want to see another scheme to go so get a few Negroes rich.
But let
me finish my
all right,
point.
okay.
Hold on, Ken. What I'm saying to you, we got to get back to institutions that create the creativity and the economic knowledge so we can get back our streets. Go ahead, Skip.
I agree with that.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you good.
What we can do is establish home ownership. Right now,
You got to have a job to establish home ownership.
That's right.
we're renting at too high of a level, and also the maintenance of our home and the insecurity of our communities and everything. We have to get that back.
But you don't deny that institutional racism, including the banks and the mortgage companies, is real, right? Or do you deny it?
No, I don't deny that at all.
So then how is it all our fault?
But at the same time, let me say this here. There are financial institutions out there, from HUD to FHA to Fannie Mae to Freddie Mac to Federal Home Loan Bank, that are creating initiatives specifically for black home ownership, because black home ownership is at its lowest percentage money and being able to send our kids to school and live comfortably.
So
But you hold on, you coined the term earlier. I didn't catch what it was when you said, and it speaks to what Keith just said. When you talked about people paying, earning just enough to get by, to pay their mortgage.
Rent burden.
Rent burden.
30% or more
Oh, okay.
of your monthly income to buy a home. 50%.
My brother calls it, he calls it mortgage poor. He said, man, you got a lot of people who jump out here. First thing they want to do, their American dream is, I'm going to get a house. I'm going to get a house. They go in and they go in, man, so far underwater that's all they do. They go to work and live their life to pay. Hold on, let me just say that.
Excellent point. You brought up an excellent point. And here's the point. Whether we call it rent burden or mortgage poor, now we're rent burden or rent poor.
so
Since that we're paying 30% of our monthly income to rent a home. Now, if you're 50% paying 50% of your monthly income, you're super rent burden.
so
And not only that, Skip, you can not only buy a house that will eliminate that percentage.
you know,
If you buy a home that you rent out for something like $1,500, you can possibly get that house down as a mortgage for $1,000.
but that's what I'm saying to you, Ken. That's all well and good until we get our institutions back. At one time, DPS was the highest employer of City of Detroit workers. Okay, they lived in the community. That money was spent in the community. Until we get our city back under black leadership, you cannot control. That's the only way you can control the economics or the platforms, so folk can get paid, so they can buy a home. Okay,
I will not say that that's the sole reason.
guess what? It is the sole reason.
Listen to me. I said the sole reason.
But
To get our finances together so we can buy a home, so we can live comfortably.
You got to have a job, man.
that's what I'm talking about.
Understand this. There are plenty of individuals that have jobs that aren't spending responsibly.
Let's put that in column B. I'm talking about column A now.
You have an opportunity to buy a home if you're receptive to the knowledge of buying a home.
So you saying black people aren't receptive to the knowledge? They just push the knowledge away?
Not most.
Oh,
Understand
okay.
this. You have an opportunity to either rent a home or own a home.
Uh-huh.
Okay? You make the choice. But if you want to buy a home, where we were growing up in the community, we went to 3 schools: elementary, middle school, and junior high or high school.
Mm-hmm.
In high school. All in the same neighborhood. We had alumni association.
That seems to be
These
my
kids
point.
nowadays are going to 5 schools before they go to high school.
Yeah, but see,
There is no alumni association.
yeah, but this is the problem, Ken. Ken,
Stability in our community.
Ken, I gave you.
Hold on. We on the same page. We talked about this week after week about no stability in our neighborhoods. Why? No schools, no banks,
Right.
no grocery stores. Do you think that's because black people aren't receptive to information? Or do you think that's by design? Again, man, we live in an area that's ruled by outside force. Redlining is still real. There's a lot of factors that come into place. Don't just,
And so this
you
we're
can't
gonna
just
do,
blame
Ken.
the victim.
Hey, Ken, let me say this to you. We ain't going to solve it today, but next week we're going to continue this conversation. Yeah, because the bottom line is we're about to come to a close. And what we're trying to say is this: it takes a whole village to raise a family. Okay? Until we get the village right, we can't get the economics right.
That's right. I agree.
Yes. But
Ken, make sure you call in next week early.
Yes.
I want to continue this conversation, this dialogue, man.
he can come in.
Yeah, I
and come
learned
into the
from you,
studio.
and maybe you can learn from.
Yeah, but Skip, as we know, current and past politics was geared to take over the city, and they got the city, and now all the wealth is going to another group of folks other than black folks.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I agree. I mean, you can't deny it.
Can't deny
Hell,
it.
it's right there.
But then we fell into skullduggery when they said they got rid of residency requirements. So black folks didn't want to live next to me, but they want to come in my city and educate my children.
White
but they
folks.
live somewhere else.
That's right. When you got rid of residency, you created an even further occupied force with the police department.
Yes.
Man, some of these police, I think they brought it up some years back. The police live so far outside of the city of Detroit that if there was a emergency, that they wouldn't be able to even get to work on time
It takes
to deal with the emergency.
It takes leadership.
Yeah.
It takes a man with a vision. How many minutes? No. We almost over.
Yeah.
10 minutes. See, this is my deal, is this. This is the deal, Skip.
I'm
The
listening
fish
to you,
rot
Keith.
from the head. That's old Greek saying the fish rot from the head.
Yo, yeah, that's
if,
right.
if you cut the fish off at the head, it rots.
That's right.
Okay, if you let the fish stay at with the whole part of the body, it's gonna keep flourishing.
I agree.
Okay, so if black folks, if y'all want change, y'all have to change within. Y'all got to change yourself and your behavior. There's no way in the community that we live in, everybody got commerce that look like us taking our money and going outside the city, nothing stays in.
Commerce again. Our next thing. What I would love to do, man, is get some of these. I would love to have a roundtable discussion.
Yeah, we're going to have a roundtable discussion.
With opposing.
Your viewpoint.
Yeah, I would love that. Because, again, everything you're saying is evident, man, because we see it, we live it. It's not no secret backdoor deals going on where we're going to move all the black folks out and it's there. It's right in our face.
Hold on. We celebrate giving money to the carpetbagger.
We do.
Instead of giving money to the hood.
My father used to tell a little joke. When Jewish people were merchants, there's no doubt about that. Prior to the Arab Americans coming in, Jewish people controlled all of the merchandise, if you will, in the city of Detroit. And my dad used to say every Christmas Eve, the Jewish merchant would stand around the table with his family and they would hold hands and he would look up and say, because black folks ran out and spent so much money on Christmas, said the Jewish merchant would look up at his family and say, "Oh, what a friend we have in Jesus."
Hey, all I'm saying, black folks, money stays in our hands 6 hours. In the white community stays 28 days. And in the Asian community is 23 days. In the black community, 6 hours. We get some ends, and our ends go. It don't stay in the community.
We don't get along with money. We try to get rid of it fast.
Yeah.
But some of the things that Ken was talking about is right. I mean, a lot of it, what he talking about is right. I think his approach, I just disagree a little with his approach. I don't want to just blame the victim, but I do want to educate him like he talked about.
But think about it. 3 times. During Black Bottom Wealth went out, they took wealth from us. During the riots, they took wealth from us. To take over the schools, they took wealth from us. And then they bankrupted the city. And in each instance, they had a scheme to keep us impoverished.
Yeah.
They don't want us to make no money. They want us to be subservient to each other, to them, not to us.
That's right.
They scared of black power. Some Negroes are scared of black power.
All right, but we're going to leave you on this note. Listen, again, these conversations come from the streets. If you got a topic you want to talk about, call in. I'm sitting here with one of my mentors, Keith Williams. And again, this show is still relatively new. We working out the kinks, but we want you to get involved. We want to hear your opinion. Call in next week.
Hey, we got our technology right. We're going to get the heat right.
We're going to get it all right.
We're going to get it all right. But if you support me, I'll support you. And we support black folks. God bless.